Hi everyone. So last week on a whim, I decided to sign up for a Herbalism and Mocktails class. And that was hosted at Grounds for Sculpture in Hamilton, New Jersey, which if you haven't been, you should. But more on that at the end. I'll talk a little bit more about the actual gardens and grounds itself. So for this particular class, I did show up a bit early. So I decided to walk around the Welcome Center because I'd never really walked around it before. And they had really cool art installations, sculptures, a really cute gift shop, and of course the Van Gogh Cafe. Once I had my iced coffee in hand, it was time to actually head off to the class itself. Although I was only a few minutes early, I was still the first student to arrive, which was fine because I got to observe the instructor as she finished her prep work for the class, and I talked to her a little bit more about what made her get into herbalism and farming. A good portion of the class was spent discussing oxymels, which is a type of syrup that you use by infusing herbs with vinegar and honey. We got to sample the ones that she had put together and brought for class before making drinks or mocktails of our own. And that was a combination of seltzer, ginger beer, aromatics, and of course the garnishes. So after we had our drinks, we got a little bit more into the herbs themselves. So we got to look at some of the herbs as she explained them, also smell them, take in the aromas, because we had the opportunity to make our own oxymels. So for me, I decided lavender was the way to go, mostly for the smell and its relaxing properties, but I decided to mix it with hibiscus because I knew the color was gonna jazz things up a bit. Initially, the thought of using vinegar was a little, but after tasting the oxymel she brought to class, I was sold.
And it's too pungent, just add more honey afterwards.
Oh, okay.
And there you have it. So the little concoction that we made, it should be ready in about 2 weeks. It is shelf stable, so we don't have to refrigerate. However, because she mentioned that after 2 days, it should be good enough to try, I did. And it was okay, although I can definitely see where it needs more time to fuse with the lavender. And the hibiscus, the color right off the bat, the color was there, which was really nice. But what I did that was different from class is that the bases we used were seltzer or ginger beer, but instead I just used what I had on hand, which was sparkling water, and I felt like it had a really nice touch. So there's still that like fizzy taste, but also sparkling water is very subtle in taste, so I feel like the oxymel did what it was supposed to do. And if you're like, okay, but like, where did you find this class? What made you go there? Well, I was interested in actually going to Grounds for Sculpture, but while on their website, I was scrolling through, realized they had the calendar option, got curious, and I decided to look at what were some of the classes that were being offered. The Herbalism one was the only one that really sparked my interest, but for anyone else, there's a lot more things that they offer in terms of like wellness, also a lot of very family-friendly events or nature walk. And if you're not familiar, Grounds for Sculpture is this 42-acre garden or sculpture garden in Hamilton, New Jersey, and honestly, it is worth the time. I've probably been there about 3 or 4 times now, and every time I go there, I'm discovering new landscape, new sculptures. There's just something else to discover around the bend. The sculptures super cool. They're very lifelike, and I think it will be just like a fun day trip to hang out, discover what's lurking around the corner, because honestly, I still haven't seen all there is to see. But that's it. So let me know in the comment section how you find hobbies, classes, different things to do, because I don't know, help a girl out. But until next time, bye.